Hey viewers, welcome back to the channel. Hey, something happened today that I was pretty excited about, and my wife was pretty excited for me. My first video that I posted on this watch reached 10,000 views today. So I'm going to do a video on this Marathon Navigator that was gifted to me several years ago. But before I get too far into that, let's just take another quick look at my Sharky real quick. And if anybody remembers this is the one with the ETA 2824 movement with the superb magnification and middle of the road clasp and all that stuff. But I still wear this watch regularly and I love it. And maybe I'll do a year review on this in December. Anyway, it's not going anywhere, so it'll be around. Okay, let's get back to the Marathon. This is the Marathon Navigator with the sterile dial and no date. This is an actual military issued watch that I think my buddy bought at the PX. It's been knocked around. You can see the dial has got some wear on it. It's acrylic crystal. I'm sorry, not the dial, but the crystal has some wear on it. I tend to get some polywatch and fix that up at some point. But in the meantime, my buddy that is a diver that has dive watches, he bought this years ago. He thought that this wouldn't be durable enough for the abuse he puts watches through, so he gave it to me. And who am I to turn down a good deal like that, you know? It was about 7 or 8 years ago that he gave it to me, and when I got it, the second hand was jumping. When the batteries get weak on these, the warning, the low battery warning indicator is that the second hand will jump 4 seconds and then pause 4 seconds, and then it'll make a 4-second jump. And that lets you know that the battery's running down and it needs to be replaced. So that's a pretty handy feature. But before I get too far into this, let's talk about the specs and the features. It came on this single pass-through strap. It did not come on a NATO. I actually prefer these because you only have one layer of webbing behind the case back, so it doesn't push the watch that much higher off of your wrist. They get to sit a little bit flatter. But let's talk about the actual measurements. This has a 42 millimeter diameter. Now, if you'll notice, on the crown side of the watch, the whole case is raised off of center, like a cushion case, but it's not that way on this side. Now, I think they did that because this thermofiber, I don't remember the name of it's some kind of fiberglass, some kind of fiber reinforced plastic that they use for the case. But instead of just using a small amount to make lug protectors for the crown, why not just raise it off the whole side? And then on the other side, why bother putting all that material where it's not needed? You know, that's how the military looks at a lot of things. We'll put stuff where we need it, and we won't waste resources where it's not. And if you believe that the military doesn't waste resources, I'm not going to go into that. So let's talk a little bit more about these measurements. With the diameter with the crown is 44 millimeters. Lug to lug is 47.8. The lug width on this is 19. And I think that this strap that it came on is actually 20. You can see it's kind of mushed in to get in there, but that's what it came with. So I don't know why they went with 19 instead of 20, but that's up to Marathon to answer that question, I guess. I have another NATO strap that I actually wear this on sometimes, and it's also a 20, and it seems to be fine. Okay, what else? The lug width, I got to that. It is 12.8 millimeters thick. I'm going to go ahead and take it right off of the strap altogether and get a better look at all the stuff underneath there, too. So 12.8 millimeters thick. Now, there's a couple of reasons for this thickness, and we're going to go into that in a minute also. This has the ETA F06 high torque quartz movement. Now, the reason it is a high torque movement is because the hands on a tritium watch, this watch has tritium lumination. So if you look closely, your indices at each hour are a little glass vial that are filled with hydrogen gas that are excited by the element tritium, which causes it to glow. Now, these colors can be manipulated. I don't know what they do to do that, but the 12 o'clock marker actually glows in orange, and all the other markers, including the hands and the lume pip on the bezel, all glow green. But if you look at the hands, they have, if I can get it to focus, a glass vial on the hands, including a small one on the second hand, which is very hard to see. Now, because of that material, you'll see the very center of the watch, the posts that the hands are mounted to have a certain degree of spacing. That spacing causes the need for more space between the crystal and the dial. So you have to have a crystal to dial clearance that is adequate to clear all that. And since you have a glass vial on the hands, you're adding weight, so this movement has to work a little bit harder than your typical quartz movement. That's why it's called the high torque movement. Now, this particular watch, even though it's a no date, this does have a ghost date. It has a date wheel under the dial. I'm going to keep my mouth shut, and I'm going to pull this out and try to manipulate the crown to see if you can hear it clicking over. I don't think I went far enough. Okay, that's time set. Go back in. One click. I can hear it. I don't know if you can, but it's there, trust me. And it's even on their website that they, not on their website, but I have read that that's how these watches are produced. It's more practical to just put a watch out, a movement out there with one movement model number, and just make all of them off of that particular movement for ease of packaging. So we're going to pull this all the way out and go to the time setting. It's a quartz. It hacks. You have the 24-hour military type dial on here. You have the radioactive symbol right there off of between 3 p.m. and the center of the dial. That and that symbol is there for no other reason than for people who own these watches to be responsible enough to dispose of them properly when they're done with them. You're in no danger of getting radioactive poisoning from this watch. The potassium that is contained in a banana has more radioactivity than the amount of tritium that's in these watches. So enough about that. Let's go on to the bezel. This is a 12-hour bezel, as you can see, but it also has minute markings from 12 to 4 p.m. or 20 minutes worth. So technically, this could be used as a diver because you do have the illuminated lume pip at 12 o'clock. But being that this is a pilot / field / navigator's watch, the rotating bezel is for tracking a second time zone. This bezel is very stiff on this watch. But it is 60 click, but the clicks are very soft, so it's really more just trying to drive it through the resistance. And it's probably crud that's accumulated under the bezel over the course of several years. But it is also bidirectional. Get that back up there to 12 o'clock. Okay. The lack of spring bars, I should say. These are not spring bars. These are permanently mounted bars that are injection molded into this reinforced polymer case. So this watch is designed to only be worn on a strap, so that the strap can be passed through and not to be worn on a bracelet. I guess you could probably pull those out and have some custom lugs made, but pins made, but that hole is going to be too big for your typical spring bar. All right, we have some information on the back of the watch here, and it's just like everything else that comes from the military. Watch, wrist, navigators. And then it has the military model number, serial number, 26 millicuries of radioactivity, has an NRC identification code, Nuclear Regulatory Commission. And this watch, at least the watch case, was manufactured in September of 2008, and I do not know what that cage number means. Anyway, when I first got this, to be honest with you, I thought it felt kind of cheap, because I'm used to watches being made out of steel, having some weight to them, and I thought anything that was lightweight had kind of a flimsy feel. This is not flimsy. This is not poor quality. This is not poor materials. This is a durable watch. The reason that the Army likes to use an acrylic crystal in place of sapphire or even mineral, the likelihood of this shattering on impact is very, very, very minimal. If it gets scratched, like I said, I plan on buying a tube of poly watch and cleaning some of that scuffing off of there. But you also get the benefit of this really cool distortion as the dial turns away from the point of view, and that looks really cool. And it's got that bubble dome to it, and I really enjoy wearing this watch. I enjoy having it. I'm grateful to my buddy for giving it to me. It's funny how if you're into something that your friends aren't, they'll just out of that, just for the hell of it, they'll just give you stuff. It happens with me all the time. Maybe my friends are different than other people, but if I have something that my friend enjoys that I'm not making any use of, I'll give it away. And this is a really nice watch. It looks cool. It's accurate. It's reliable. It hasn't given me any problems since I replaced the battery in it. Now you can see right there, there's a cutout in that case back, so you can easily fish a pry tool in there, pop the case back off, and replace the battery. Now, I probably need to order a new gasket and pop this off and replace it, because I just put the new battery in and I just put the back on, and it's probably compromised the water resistance. So if I'm ever going to use this to go camping or hiking or what have you, I probably need to address that gasket situation before I do. But I'm going to go ahead and put it on the strap that it came on and show you how it looks on my wrist. This always happens to me while I'm making a video. Whenever I pause the video, I get this stuff done quickly. Whenever I don't pause it, it takes me longer than it should. Okay, here it is. Let me zoom out here. All right, that's on my 7.5-inch wrist. It's comfortable. It lays flat. Even though it's got some height to it with that domed crystal, it just looks so cool. And very simple, very plain, no nonsense approach to, it's a field watch. And it does have the added benefit of either using the bezel as a timer or tracking a second time zone. So, I'm always grateful when somebody gives me something that most people wouldn't give two hoots about a watch like this because it's a black plastic watch that there's nothing really special about it. But to me it is. Not just that it was a gift from a friend, but because it's a cool watch. It's made with high quality components, durable, tough, and accurate, and reliable. And I don't know how you could ask for anything more than that. Again, I wasn't really looking to make a video this week. I don't have anything new come in yet, but my wife thought it would be a good idea for me to come and make a video in honor of my first video on this watch getting 10,000 views today. I thought that was pretty cool. I never thought I'd see that happen. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Hope you like that. And, keep liking and subscribing and commenting. And, until the next video, adios.